In Keep the Change, we see our character Stu travelling from left to right when going from scene to scene, which is the traditional direction for characters to move forward in films. When he's in the car, however, we ran into some shooting problems. We made this film in England, and if you don't know, in England we drive on the left-hand side of the road. This means the driver's seat is on the right-hand side of the car, so having the camera shooting from the passenger side towards the driver's side would actually result in our character facing the wrong direction. He'd be facing the left, looking backwards. Well, that's an easy fix, let's just have him travelling from right to left throughout the film. The problem with this is, it starts messing with film grammar. Well, what's film grammar? So films have a language, not a spoken language but a visual one, and when you start changing the words in this language, such as a character's standard travelling direction, it can impact on an audience member's enjoyment of the film. And it's not just films that do this either. Most, if not all, platform games run from left to right. So when you send a character right to left, an audience will associate this direction as going backwards, and we wanted our character to make progress, not lose progress. So anyway, this was an issue, and we had two options. Option 1, shoot the film with our character moving from right to left, breaking traditional film grammar. Or option 2, find a way to shoot from the driver's side. In the end, we did take the challenge. The next problem was, how do we film our actor Liam driving the car? Use another car and shoot from the window alongside it? No, that's too dangerous. Put the camera on the dashboard? There's not enough room. So instead, we tried our best to fake it. We considered a lot of things when trying to fake the driving of the car. You'll see others achieving this effect by using lights to act as street lights, beaming them across the car from front to back and repeating the process. We did try this, but because of the small space and the white walls of Rob's garage, we ended up lighting the walls and it would spoil the effect. So that method really just didn't work for us. Instead, we shot an establishing shot of the car driving past at night on a country road that had no immediate streetlights. So this helped establish the pitch black environment of outside once we cut into the car. Then we dressed the car with items which would move when the car is travelling, a bobblehead and a pine fresh. Then we rocked the car gently to fake the bumps on the road. Unfortunately, Rob's car being rocked in his garage didn't sound like it was driving on a road. So we grabbed the microphone, got back in the car, drove around, and I recorded the car at different speeds, and we put the rumbling noise from inside the car back into the film. Doing this was never going to be perfect, but it worked for the short time we see him in the car. To achieve the pothole effect, we used some camera shake and After Effects, and added a bunch of different sounds, such as going over a speed bump, the engine switching off, and various radio jitters. For the limited time and no real budget, this was our best option. Obviously, with more cash, using a car shooting rig or a trailer would have been a lot better. And if we had a larger, darker space to work in, using lights to fake street lamps would have sold the effect a lot better too. But you gotta work with what you have. Anyway, now that we had the car driving and hitting the pothole, it was time to make it look like it was totaled. This is where the smoke machine comes in. The whole idea for Keep the Change actually started because we wanted an excuse to use a smoke machine. We wrote the scenes around the techniques we wanted to demonstrate with the smoke machine, and wrote the overlining story around the scenes, working the opposite way to usual, which was a learning process in itself. So here's what you'll need. Firstly, a car. Luckily, Rob's old Peugeot 106 here helped sell the effect of a breakdown because it's not brand new. Secondly, you'll need a smoke machine. We found this one on sale at a costume shop just after Halloween, so it was really cheap. It runs on 230 volts, so it does have to be plugged into a main socket. We have a caravan battery for wireless power, but an extension cord will work just as well, as long as you can find a socket close enough. So now that you are powered, position the smoke machine under the engine and angle it up, or use some sort of funnel to direct the smoke up through the engine. We used a nozzle from an airbed pump and duct taped it on. Give the smoke machine a good 10 seconds to build up underneath the bonnet and you're good to go. We also used the smoke machine in the last scene to fill the room with some haze, blast it for a few seconds and then fan it out to spread it throughout the room. This helped achieve the light rays from his phone light and gave the room a hazy glow. We also pumped a little bit in through the back of the pizza box to create a steamy vapour when it opened up. So there you have it, super cheap, easy to use. the smoke machine really did help keep the change get closer to achieving the film look. We have a new episode every Tuesday, so consider subscribing if you like the channel. We're also on most social medias, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And if you missed it, click the annotation on screen to see our most recent film, Keep the Change, as well as our last episode. If you're on mobile, we've put the links in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.